Most people, even really high-level athletes, think that their check-ins is just a matter of giving me their weight, uploading a couple of pictures, and inputting their macros into a spreadsheet. But if that's all your coach is looking at and caring about, you're not being coached, you're just being managed. And there is a huge difference between those two things. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what high-level coaches like myself should be looking for in your check-ins, and how the difference in those minute levels of detail can be the difference between winning or losing, or achieving your goals or not achieving your goals. Here is the first significant mindset shift that needs to happen. No check-in is good or bad. It is just data and information. And the data and information doesn't hold a value outside of how it informs the strategy that we pursue thereafter. I don't care if your weight went up today. I don't care necessarily that yesterday your training performance wasn't that great. What I care about is those trends over time. Because once you start establishing trends for a particular individual, that is when you can get into the nitty-gritty details of amending that strategy in the long term to not only ensure acute progress, but ensure progress over the entire period of the contest prep. We need to be looking at things like digestion. Are you bloated? What is happening with GI transit time? This can give us insights as to your food quality, nutrient timing protocols, and potentially even food intolerances that you may not be aware of. Stress levels. How is that running? Is it acute? Is it chronic? Is it tying in with changes in visuals and changes with what we're seeing in the scale? If so, a transient increase in weight could be nothing less than a cortisol-driven increase in body water. Your check-in pictures aren't just about assessing progress. Your check-in pictures tell me a lot more about what could be happening under the hood. Is your physique looking harder, or are we seeing more softness and more potential water retention? If so, we need to take a look at where that could be coming from. Even things, small details like changes in posture could be indicating accumulated fatigue, a predisposition towards injury. Most coaches are only looking at indications of increased leanness or increased muscularity, but there is a lot more nuance and detail that goes into gauging those check-in pictures. Training performance remains one of the most underrated aspects of the check-in because your coach can't be with you in the gym every day. So we need to understand, what is your technique and execution like? Is your training performance moving up, staying stable, or moving down? Is your intensity level and your proximity to failure enough to elicit a true hypertrophic response? This is why subjective perception of every week is so important. I don't want to just see the information. I want to hear from you how you found the week. Because everything could look good on paper, but if you feel as though you're dragging and you're suffering, that is an indication that a point of non-responsiveness or a plateau, or at least a diminishment in terms of adherence to the protocol, is imminent. And that is the difference between proactive coaching and reactive coaching. As a proactive coach, we want to get ahead of the curve and avoid those points ahead of time. We do not wait for the physique to break down. We listen to these signs and read this data before it gets that opportunity. So next time you check in, ask yourself, am I just submitting numbers, or am I sending through data that can actually drive strategy? Because when you are a high-level athlete or a lifestyle client that is very serious about their goals, every single detail matters. And those details are what is informing the individualization of your program. So if you're tired of just being another number on a spreadsheet and you want a coach who actually reads between the lines and looks under the hood, drop me an email or send me a DM on Instagram, and let's take this to the next level.